Hi, my name is Viviana, and today we're going to talk about Africa and how disease, education, and poverty are major issues. It is said that roughly around 75% of the world's poorest countries are located in Africa. It is said that Sub-Sahara, Zimbabwe, and Ethiopia are part of the poorest countries on this planet, and roughly an average person makes about $1.25 a day. With that being said, money, food shortages, electricity has becoming even a more issue, but the question is, why is it still an issue till this day? There are a number of reasons of why Africa is still poor. I mean, most of the issues has to do with ethical, political, and even natural disasters. But I believe that the main thing is lack of water, safe water, good and healthy water, not what has polluted and chemicals in it that is harming the kids. Now I know what y'all might be thinking, but water is a big deal. It's a big deal because with healthy water, there's not going to be kids, spending their time collecting dirty water for their family, but rather trying to go to school and learn. Just think of it this way. When water solution is put into plan and it works, agriculture will eventually grow and it will become sustainable and healthy. Especially in African community, water is life, and it's not taken very seriously as it should be, because without water the economic will slow down. It will not grow. Now it's quite amazing when a well is built in an African community, because not only does it motivate other people to go to school, grow crops, and help with the water, I mean, it sets a foundation, an understanding, a goal in mind that, they want to do better. They want to live longer. They want to be healthy and have their kids to be and see them as they grow older. Now, we all know that poverty is one of the major issues in Africa, but so is diseases. I mean, did you know that in Africa, women are more likely to catch HIV by the time they're born, and that every 30 seconds a child dies because of diseases? Diseases in Africa are very serious because it kills many innocent lives because a lack of supplies and medication and hospitals. In 2005, there was a poll showing that 90% of measles disease killed mostly kids between the age of 1 to 5. And if you were lucky to live longer than 5 years old, because measles is, very curable. All you really need is a vaccine and it cures it right up. Places like in Sub-Saharan Africa, which is one of the very poorest countries in Africa, in the majority of towns, 50% have AIDS. Now when it comes to diseases and hospitals, it's not like they don't have supplies, they just don't have enough doctors. In Sub-Saharan Africa, roughly around 10,000 people have limited access to only 3 doctors. 3 doctors. Now, that's a long line, and it could be the end of your life to be waiting, and transportation can be very rough, and it can mean the end of your life. Now, schools are being built in Africa, but education isn't being pushed enough. Even though kids go to school, by the time they get out of the 5th grade, they haven't really learned much, and they go back into their own ways in which their parents and their parents, built inside their head that, you have to do what you have to do. Some kind of form of slavery, prostitution, to make a living, to survive. That's what people are there about. They're wanting to survive. Also, a very common practice in Africa is where families, when they have kids, they give them away to another family to ensure that they will make money and be educated. But most of those cases turn out to be a form of prostitution and slavery to the other house owners. And some of the kids, they die and they sell their body organs to make a profit off of them. And this is a major issue, and this is the reality of what goes on in Africa, and it's not to be taken lightly. It should be taken seriously. Everyone in Africa comes from a poor background, and because of it, the economic and the social stability is not growing. It's descending because education is not properly being dealt with. Kids are not learning the basic skills that they need, and they go back to their old ways, and it's not helping. It's just creating more of a problem. Poverty, diseases, education in Africa, they're all solvable, and they can all be resolved. It just has to take communication, dedication, and understanding as a whole that we can all make a difference. We just have to stand up and say something.